Hello, hello, hello. This is your fellow single black mom, Tish, career coach Tish. I'm here today to speak to all my single black moms who want to do remote work, specifically virtual assistant work. So, here's a few tips before you start even getting your business off the ground. Okay. So before you even get your business off the ground, you should identify the services that you want to provide. Some people will say, find out who your target audience is, find out what their needs are, and so forth. But honestly, you need to start with what you already know. Okay. So what I would recommend you do is to go online, Google a job description for a virtual assistant, because that will give you some outline to help you determine what you do want to do for others and what you do not want to do for others. I can tell you from personal experience, there's certain things that you will not do for other people because if you do it for them, it's not going to benefit them. Yes, like I said, if you do it for them, it's not going to benefit for them because it's not going to benefit them to have you do something that they don't understand. So if they can't understand it and do it without you being present, let's say if you have an emergency or something like that, then it's no point in you setting it up and creating it for them. Whatever you do for somebody as a virtual assistant needs to be user friendly. When I say user friendly, I mean that if something should happen to you, they can be able to pick up where you left off and keep it moving, or hand it to somebody else. And there's some kind of SOP, which is standard operating procedures, readily available for that person to pick it up and keep it moving. Okay. You leaving the scene should not stop the show. All right. So, what I would say to you is look at a job description on Google, find out the types of things you do want to do and the types of things you don't want to do. Go through that job description. Say, okay, this says that they will do calendar management. Okay. That's an example. So, let's say calendar management is on there, or electronic filing, or asset management, like helping them to manage their digital assets, whether it's content they put on their website or on their social media or other platforms that they use. So just managing their assets, their digital assets, or their products. Like if they have like a package where they have courses or stuff like that, managing where those courses go on their platforms and in their back office. They're like cloud or something like that. So if those kind of things are listed and you don't know anything about it, you can learn about it and decide whether or not it's something you want to offer. You can always offer it at a later date, right? Because if you don't have that skill to get you off the ground right now and running with your business, then put it on the back burner and learn it, and then eventually test it out on your clients and ask them if it's okay. But go with what you know. So if you know some skills, but you don't know all of them, the next step I want to say, after you identify the skills that you already have that match that job description, think about some other skills that you can offer, list those all down, and then decide from that list what you want to do for people and what you want to do for yourself. For an example, if you don't want to organize somebody's email and email management is something that you are familiar with and you've done it, then don't offer that as a service. Because the last thing I want you to do is get frustrated because you don't want to offer that and you do it anyway. Or you don't want to frustrate the client because they don't know what they want to do with that. They don't know how to organize their emails, but they want you to do it. But when you do it, it's not to their liking, or they don't know where to find things. Have you ever heard of that saying that, people have organized mess? They know where their stuff is, even though it looks a hot mess. So some people need to be just left with their mess because you organizing it will make it worse for them, and that will make them frustrated and see you as a liability, not an asset. So if you don't want to do email management, and as you can hear, I'm giving you some very strong feelings about that email management for a reason, because I'm telling you, it's not easy if they don't know how to manage their own emails or they don't have an idea of how to prioritize the emails. Just let it go. Because what you can do later on is come back to them and ask them, based on our experience so far, what do you think are your top priorities, the things you want to focus on the most? And if they say, yeah, I want these people I want to focus on right now, and these other people, I can put them on the back burner, then now you can know how to organize their emails. But don't do it until they give you some go ahead and they know exactly what they want to do. So another thing that people often do that they don't want to do or should not be doing for other people is not only organizing their emails, but organizing their files. Oh my God. Suppose you have a client who has files all over their desktop, little file folders, icons on their desktop of their laptop screen. Okay. And then you go in there and you move things around. That's like going to somebody's bedroom who has organized mess and then putting everything away in drawers and closets and hang them up and move them around. And they go in there looking for their lucky shirt, their lucky shoes, their favorite coat, their favorite whatever, and they can't find it. It was sitting there yesterday, but now they can't find it. Same thing with files. If people put files all over their desktop and they know where to click and find what they need, let them be. It may not look good to you. You may be like, oh my God, this is so unorganized. But if it works for them, let them manage it, and then you manage your own files, right? So those are two top things I do not do for other people, because some people like to have their own organized mess. And I know I have my own organized mess, but I don't do that for anybody else. So that's off my offer list. Some other things you may want to look at that may be on the job description for a virtual assistant is social media management. Now, that's fun for me personally, because I like seeing how people respond to the content that I put up there. But you also need to make sure that the person you're working with is working with you to create content. You don't know their business better than they know their business. You're there to support them. You're not there to be an expert. Now, if they want you to be an expert in that business and offer them assistance, you're no longer an assistant, you're a consultant. Okay? Because assistants don't have to be experts in the fields of the people that they serve. They just need to know the tactical part, how to implement, how to plan it, how to schedule it, not necessarily how to develop it and create the content. Like, they have to get that information out of their brain on a device so that you can take it, manipulate it, reformat it, repurpose it, and put it out if that's your skill set. And Canva is a cool tool that you can use to help you with that if you're not a digital marketing expert or graphic designer. Okay? So you may want to take that in consideration. Like, if you're going to do social media management, how are you going to do it? Are they going to develop the content? Do you need to develop the content? Do you have to use AI to develop the content? Like, find out who's going to bring you the content, because the more time you use researching and learning their field to become an expert like them, is a lot of time that they're paying you to do nothing, because you're going to spend that whole time learning and not producing. So what I would highly recommend is that you ask them to create the content, or give you at least enough content so that you can use it in AI and have AI help you develop the content further, and then you can repurpose it and so forth like you should. Ask them what platforms they feel comfortable using, because they're going to have to do videos when it comes to social media. And if they have a problem with doing videos, then ask them, are they willing to do audio? If they have a problem with doing audio, ask them if they can do pictures. Now, if they can't do anything on social media, they don't want to do nothing related to engaging their audience on social media, you may want to reconsider doing social media for them, because they're going to expect you to produce something that they're not even helping you to, create. So if they're not willing to do any social media, if they're just like and have anxiety about it, then just tell them like, hey, then maybe you need to not do social media then. And we'll see how we're going to get your clients, because they're going to realize it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very slow. Organic is slow. So some people have word of mouth. They have a good reputation in their neighborhood, in their community, and you may have to go to networking events on their behalf or with them to gather information about people that they want to serve. Probably get business cards, put the business cards in some type of lead generation system, and have to contact them, do cold calls, warm calls, and so forth in order for them to have business. That may be an alternative if they don't feel comfortable with social media. But if you up to it and it's something that you are willing to do, you can do it. But my thing is, if you're trying to be virtual, try to limit the amount of physical activities you have to do outside of your remote location. Meaning like going to events on their behalf and so forth. Because then now you're no longer virtual. You're no longer being a remote worker. You're actually going out to do things that don't allow you to have the flexibility that you need. Okay? But that's also up to you if you want to do that. But be careful, because it's a thin line. So those are some tips I can give you on some of the items you may see on the job description related to a virtual assistant. If you have any more questions or comments or anything you want to share with me or ask me, feel free to send me a message or an email. Career Coach Tish, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Peace.